The streets of London can be a scary place, but if you're homeless and without a job, it can be even worse. Even in one of the world's most expensive cities, the dividing line between the haves and the have-nots is thin. Out of options, sleeping rough. That's where Vinny was a year ago. Now he's a tour guide for Unseen Tours of London. His beat is the Mayfair section of London. It is one of the most expensive and high-fashion areas of the city. Vinny knows these streets intimately because they used to be his home.
I spent a lot of time when I was homeless on this street because I liked all the kind of galleries. They changed the pictures quite a lot.
How long were you homeless in this area?
About 4 years altogether. Yeah.
In Mayfair?
Yeah.
He is one of 6 guides who works for Unseen Tours. The group started this program of training the homeless and formerly homeless about 2 years ago.
One of the guys that we've known on the street, a lady called Hazel, came up with the idea. We ran it as a one-off thing. It was a huge success. So we thought, why not run with it? And the following year we started with 2 tours, and now we're up to 6 tours running in London. We're based on the idea of being a social enterprise, so we're a non-profit organisation. Yeah, so the lion's share of what we do goes to the guides. All the coordinators and the volunteers are unpaid.
This is not your average sightseeing tour. This tour gets personal.
Now kind of reading the paper and somebody walked by and must have been looking pretty rough. It handed like 10, 20 pounds, no?
And we try to kind of offer some sort of unusual facts and figures about the area as well, but it's interesting. Once a few people have asked some questions of the guides, sort of other people, they're very interested in one, how people have ended up in that situation, and kind of how people end up there, how they got out of it. Just kind of interested in something that most people are very unfamiliar with.
You can see somebody's had their bag stolen down here and they just dumped the bag down there.
Vinny is very open about how he ended up on the streets, and if asked, shares it on every tour.
I was working here and doing quite well. I became quite successful working as a chef for about 6 years when originally from Dublin in Ireland, and my father contacted me to say that my younger sister, who were very close growing up, she'd began to use heroin and was getting involved in crime and getting into trouble, and if, he couldn't get through to her, that maybe if I went back to Dublin and then she'd listen to me. So I moved back to Dublin, and it might seem crazy, but then I started to use heroin, and so it only took a few weeks to get on the street, but years to get back off it. There was one night, it was kind of the middle of winter, and it was kind of horrible rain.
What is it that you think that your tour, or Unseen Tours, not just yours, but all the tours that Unseen Tours gives, what do they bring that, say, any one of the other dozens or hundreds of tours don't have?
As well as getting to see all the sort of nice streets and buildings and the history of the area, you get a sort of perspective of homelessness, a first-hand account of homelessness from somebody who's been there, and somebody and some of the guys still are homeless. So that's nice to be able to get across and to change people's perceptions of what homelessness is and how people end up on the street, and just to be able to challenge. Some people have some really shocking views about homelessness, and especially when we get school groups, it's nice to be able to change their views about what. So thank you very much. Enjoyed it.
Thank you. That's fascinating.
Enjoy it,
Yeah, just a fascinating insight.
Cool.
Because you know it so well.